Welcome to Abstractly African, where culture is a compass, ancestry is a resource, and transformation is a shared practice. I am Daniela Ayomide, and in this month of February, we've been teaching on how to take care of ourselves in these tumultuous times. I love West African spiritual traditions. They are rooted in ancient understandings of the human body, the stars, and the energy around us. Cosmology, the understanding of our relationship as humans to the cosmos, the planet, the galaxy, and the universe, is a great way to map out the origins of many traditions and beliefs that have taken place over time in the African diaspora. Let me break that down. When we seek to understand our relationship as human beings to the problems we're facing, there's often a mirrored yet broader reality that's taking shape in the cosmology that defines our world. Now, as above, so below is a common concept that drives this cosmological relationship. In West African traditions, the energy of all there is, the spirit that enlivens and gives energy to all living systems and beings, is part of the greater cosmology and human understanding and narrative. So traditionally, we as Black Africans have understood that in order to not only move past our circumstances, but also to have protection while we are enduring the things we're going through, we have to have this dual understanding of what's happening internally in the microcosmic world and how that is affected and shaped by the external world, what's happening in the macrocosm. So let's take a deeper look at the hoodoo traditions and their origins in West African cosmology when it comes to the Mojo bag. Now, interestingly enough, whenever I hear the word mojo, I think of Mojo Jojo. Yes, that's right. I'm a 90s baby and I can't help but recall the Powerpuff Girls and the enemy that they had, Mojo Jojo. Now, I'm only referencing that because of the name, but the power that Mojo Jojo had is significant to the name that he had as a supervillain. Mojo Jojo, as I'm looking at him through this abstractly African context, Mojo Jojo was a powerful supervillain who understood how to use sacred technology. The Mojo bag, or Mojo in general, is considered the unique and essential energy that we have, right? So your mojo, if you've ever heard someone say, I've got to get my mojo back, they're talking about their unique and essential energy, kind of like your ashe. But you could understand your mojo to be this embodiment of your energy and its unique qualities. In order to move through challenging situations, we as Black Africans have used our mojo and harnessed it in a way that allows us to be protected, to connect to certain orisha, and to really maintain this relationship to our cosmological understanding of the world. that essentially we're not just dealing with problems on an internal level, but that our problems are usually reflected and magnified by the macrocosm, the collection of people in the world that is also enduring and experiencing their own challenges. That's the macrocosm. So when you create a mojo bag, essentially what you're doing is creating a pact with your Ashe and the living universe, the spirit, the energy of all there is, for some purpose. Typically, mojo bags are used for protection. They are also used to carry out certain desires, right? So sometimes people will use mojo bags to draw love or draw economic opportunities. My point is, if you are interested in harnessing your unique energy and its essential qualities for the purpose of protection or some positive purpose that will add to your life, mojo bags historically have been a tool we use that is both powerful and ritualistic. Without further ado, I'd like to show you a mojo bag that I've created in the past. Here she is. Check her out. Not as fancy as you might have thought it would look, but the concept is simple and the application is powerful. Historically, mojo bags have been created with red fabric or red flannel. The color red symbolizes life, vigor, blood, of course, and vitality. It's also the color associated with Eshu, okay? Eshu, Elegua, the Orisha that honors the crossroads and our connection to the spirit realm. So when you create a mojo bag, you are inherently designing it to recall the sacred symbols and forces of nature that can protect you and help further your cause, okay? Now, each mojo bag is different. The essential element, I'm gonna unfold it. The essential element that makes up a mojo bag, okay, as you can see, this one is folded. This one had a quarter coin inside. I was doing some really interesting things with this mojo bag. It has a quarter coin inside. This mojo bag, the protective element was centered around a letter. Okay, isn't that interesting? So essentially, what I've done is create my petition, but I've also included, this is the most powerful part, it's disintegrated now, but this is a snake plant root, the root of a snake plant, okay? So essentially, the root of the snake plant is the heart or the talisman that is the foundation of this mojo bag, okay? So the interesting thing is, when you incorporate roots of plants into a mojo bag, you are aligning to one of the oldest West African traditions there is, understanding natural elements, herbs, and their roots, and understanding the power attached to them for specific purposes. Snake plants are beautiful plants. They're enduring and strong. They are known to purify and clean the air. And in the spiritual sense, they're known to remove negative energy. The roots of snake plants, are toxic. So if you are considering a root of a plant that will protect you, that will provide that spiritual boundary, if you will, a snake plant root is incredible for this purpose. Okay? So the snake plant root, boy, it has been blessed and assigned the purpose of protection. Okay? The way you can bless a root of a plant or assign it an intention for a mojo bag is with your saliva. You may also use whiskey, or you can even use urine, your own, okay? But the point is, you're making a contract with objects that are imbued with spiritual power. And the process, once combined, is a powerful package that you continue to have a relationship with. So I mentioned that you have to feed your mojo bag with either your saliva, a potent alcohol like whiskey or rum, and you may also use your urine, right? So I can imagine the reaction, because hoodoo and hoodoo practices, are very unique. But they're also powerful because they combine elements from Yoruba practice and culture. Hoodoo practices combined aspects of Christianity and also aspects of indigenous beliefs. The mojo bag is probably the best example of all three, because historically, we used these mojo bags to help us be concealed from our enemies. We would have used mojo bags while we were enslaved to protect ourselves, our community, our children, our babies, right? We, as Black people, were the life source and the life source for the American economy. And so protecting our mojo and harnessing our life force allowed us to maintain our dignity and connect to spiritual practices that sustained us, so that we weren't ultimately taken out by human degradation, okay? I love understanding how these spiritual tools can be used in modern practice today, because many of us, though we're not on the plantation, right, thankfully, we face psychological warfare in a number of means, right? We are noticing and witnessing the rise of corporate culture and its relationship to toxicity. There are countless speakers, writers, and thought leaders who have shared their own experiences and the realities of what it's like to endure and work through corporate environments under Black skin, right? You could be Black and female presenting, Black and male, Black and disabled, adding all these different categories on. My point is, we still face, though it might be different in context, situations and circumstances that at their core aim to disempower and disembody Black people from our innate mojo, from our ashe and innate power. So when I think of the mojo bag and the example of the one that I created for myself, I am aligning myself not only to the power of remembrance of who I am, but to the practices that connect me to the ancient cosmology, right? This understanding that I heal my microcosm, which is a reflection of the healing of the macrocosm. Then I also understand how to apply specific natural elements toward the purpose of protection. So in my Mojo bag, I had the roots of a snake plant. I had a letter, okay? I had my red fabric, and I also had a coin, okay? So what's great about rituals in hoodoo, even Ifa, and Black American folk magic is that you use what you have. You use what you have and the means around you, imbuing them as sacred technology to help you really transform, and what we say here at Abstractly African, transform as a practice that is shared, right? Not just within yourself, but with your community. So, when you feel afraid of the future, or when uncertainty gives you anxiety, or when you're just unsure of how to get over what you're facing, there are tools, West African traditional tools, that we can use today that can still help us transform the world around us. Mojo bags are a simple way to incorporate protection into your daily life. So tell me, have you lit your candle? Have you lit your candle? Will you make a Mojo bag? What rituals are you doing to carry you through these tumultuous times? We'll see you next week.